Once upon a time, there was a boy with a golden brain. Inside the recesses of his mind, a solid brain of gold resided. No one knew of this, of course, but when the boy was young, he fell down and hurt his head, the wound revealing golden dust instead of flesh and blood. Terrified, yet enchanted, his parents overlooked how the boy's eyes glimmered with adventure. To them, a brain of gold was far more alluring than the spirit behind his blue eyes, so they kept the knowledge to themselves and never allowed him to leave their sight. But when the boy grew up, his parents had no choice but to free him, and when they did, they told him his secret. Son, you have a golden brain. It's hidden under your mortal body, but it gleams underneath. Then they asked for some gold to compensate for the secret they kept for so long. The boy obliged and set off for an adventure with a giddy heart. However, the world he was secluded from as a child was far different than he had imagined. There was no sense of adventure or magic, nor kindness and love, just full of human suffering and anguish. Devastated, the boy began to use up his golden brain to fill the emptiness he felt. With it, people began to swarm towards him like flies, whispering sweet lies and prospects of eternal happiness. As the boy was naive, he couldn't differentiate illusions from reality, and soon enough, his golden brain was torn to pieces, stolen by the people he dared to call his friends. Shattered, the boy decided to die. If this was the world that awaited him, he had no will to live. However, the boy was overlooking one human emotion: love. And he soon found it in the form of a beautiful girl. Instantly enraptured, the boy swore he would do anything for her love, and in response, the girl looked deeply into his blue eyes and kissed him. But as time passed, the girl began to adore his golden brain more than the boy's soul. She didn't know, of course, that her pursuit for vanity was killing him. Instead, she simply thought that the boy was rich, that he would do anything for her. And as the latter was true, the boy didn't correct her in fear of tainting their love. Bit by bit, the girl's desires wore away the boy's golden brain. Once full of potential and mischief, it now lay in scattered wounds and pieces. Yet the boy did not care, if it meant that he could continue loving the girl and receive her love in return. He didn't care how their love was killing him. Until one day, the girl died. It was a sudden death, and neither of them foretold. With the girl's death, the boy fell into a pit of despair. Still, he used the waning dustings of his golden brain to prepare a lavish funeral for her. The funeral was beautiful and full of false mourners, weeping crocodile tears. But the poor boy didn't notice them, as his brain was too weak to decipher anything, and soon he forgot the girl's death altogether. Instead, he wandered through the streets of Paris, wondering where the girl had left him. Then he glimpsed the loveliest pair of shoes he had ever seen. Full of hope, the boy thought that his love would return to him if he presented those shoes to her. Staggering, the boy scraped out the last gold from his mind and handed it to the shopkeeper. "Here," he said, "take this gold, and my love will—" The boy didn't get to finish his words, as when he took the final gold fragments from his mind, his soul left the mortal plane. What was left of the boy was his body, his mind devoid of any gold, faint smile as his blue eyes closed forever. Now, why do you think the girl kept asking for more if their love was enough? Did she need an embodiment of their love to prove that it was true? In that case, was their love even real? Well, was it?
That's depressing. Real for the boy. Mm.
Love your reaction. Well, that's depressing.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Well,
That's an accurate
shit.
statement.
The fuck do I do now?